Designing a life that balances simplicity and freedom. Spending less, experiencing more, the true measure of wealth. What does freedom mean to you? For many, it's the ability to do whatever they want, whenever they want. For others, it's the absence of responsibilities or the weight of financial stress. But freedom in its truest form is not found in the absence of boundaries or commitments. It's found in a life that feels light, unburdened, and aligned with what matters most. There's a reason so many people feel burned out, distracted, and stuck. Life today is loud. It's cluttered physically, mentally, and emotionally. You're pulled in 10 directions at once, surrounded by constant noise, juggling obligations you never meant to take on. This video is about pulling back. It's not running away, not throwing everything out, but getting real about what matters and building a life around that. Start with an honest inventory. You can't build simplicity or freedom on top of a life that's packed with unnecessary weight. Take a hard look at your day-to-day. What fills your time, your space, your mind? Be blunt. What drains you? What do you keep doing out of habit or fear? What adds no value, but stays because you're used to it? Maybe it's a job that no longer aligns with who you are. Maybe it's toxic friendships, cluttered spaces, or an identity you've outgrown. Whatever it is, you've got to name it. Clarity starts with honesty. Freedom begins by understanding what's actually keeping you stuck. And a lot of the time, it's not something dramatic. It's the daily noise, the small obligations, the constant yes to things that don't serve you. The life you want can't begin until you acknowledge the life that's no longer working. Simplicity isn't lack, it's focus. People hear the word simplicity and think it means stripping everything down to the bare minimum. That's not what we're talking about. Simplicity is about being selective. It means deciding what's essential and building your life around that. You might love having a full bookshelf or a packed dinner calendar. That's fine as long as those things energize you. But if they don't, why are you holding on to them? Ask yourself, what do I keep out of guilt? What am I doing because someone else expects it? What would I gladly let go of if I felt allowed? The goal is clarity, not emptiness. You're designing a life that fits you, not a Pinterest version of minimalism. True simplicity isn't about less for its own sake. It's about what remains when everything unnecessary falls away. Freedom comes from intention. Freedom isn't chaos. It's not waking up with no responsibilities or floating from one thrill to the next. That kind of life burns out fast. Real freedom comes from living intentionally, knowing what matters to you, cutting out the rest, and building structure around your values. Do you want time to rest? Then, stop filling your calendar with obligations that don't align with your goals. Do you want more energy? Then, stop giving your attention to people and habits that exhaust you. It's not about doing less for the sake of doing less. It's about creating space for what matters most. Discipline becomes freedom when it supports your deepest values. Boundaries aren't walls, they're pathways to clarity. The hidden cost of clutter. Let's be clear, clutter isn't just about stuff on your floor. It's about what takes up space in your life unnecessarily. It's the digital distractions, the mental load, the relationships that drag you back into patterns you've worked hard to leave behind. When you let your life fill up with noise, you lose your ability to hear yourself. That's the real danger. You stop noticing what you actually want. You forget what peace feels like. You get so used to reacting that you stop choosing. Soon, your days will become something you manage instead of something you live. Designing a balanced life starts with removing what dulls your attention so you can reconnect with your own voice. Because when the volume of the outside world lowers, your own truth finally has room to speak. Crafting daily rhythms that support you. You don't need a 5-year plan to find balance. Start with your day. What would a good day look like for you? It would not be perfect, but grounded and calm. It's not a fantasy, just something that actually works. Start simple. A morning without reaching for your phone. 1 hour a day without noise. No podcasts, no TV, no scrolling. A short walk, a quiet meal, an honest conversation. Your habits shape your life. And if your days are frantic, your life will be too. Design rhythms that help you reset. Make space in your day for silence, presence, and connection. Learn to say no without explaining yourself. You can't live simply or freely if you're afraid to disappoint people. That's a hard truth. If you keep saying yes to everything and everyone, you're choosing chaos over clarity. You're letting other people run your schedule, your energy, and your life. Saying no is not selfish. It's self-respect, and you don't owe long explanations. "That doesn't work for me" is enough. When you reclaim your time, you reclaim your power. You don't need permission to protect your space. You just need to stop outsourcing your boundaries to people who don't live with the consequences of your exhaustion. Letting go of the ideal life you were sold. Part of designing your life means questioning what you were told life should look like. Maybe you were taught success means constant hustle. Maybe you thought love had to look a certain way. Maybe you assumed more was always better. Let go of that noise. If it's not working for you, it's not for you. You're allowed to want quiet. You're allowed to build slowly. You're allowed to prioritize peace over profit, solitude over socializing, and depth over the surface. Don't just simplify your closet. Simplify your expectations. Defining the challenges that are barriers to growth. There's no progress without friction. If simplicity and freedom were easy, everyone would be living this way. But there's pressure from family, culture, advertising, even our own insecurities that keep us tied to complexity. Here are some common barriers. Fear of missing out, FOMO, saying yes to everything just in case. Travel plans or purchases you can't afford but feel pressured to make because others are doing it. Status anxiety, holding on to things, titles, cars, homes, not because they serve you, but because they say something about you. A job title that makes you feel validated, even if the work drains you. Guilt, feeling selfish for wanting space, rest, or fewer obligations. Poor boundaries, being everyone's go-to person, constantly on call. Always playing peacekeeper in family dynamics, even when it costs you peace. Confused identity, defining yourself by what you do rather than who you are. Action steps to start now. Here's how to start. 1. Weekly declutter challenge. Remove 10 items from your home each week. Anything you don't use, need, or love, let it go. Each item is not just an object, but a decision. 10 fewer decisions. 10 less fragments of friction. 2. Mental reset exercise. List 3 thoughts or beliefs that keep you stuck. Write how your life might look without them. What would be possible if you dropped the story that you have to do it all, please everyone, or stay small? 3. Simplicity day. Pick one day a week where you slow everything down. No social media. Fewer decisions. More quiet. Let that day become your weekly exhale, a reset for your nervous system and your spirit. 4. Boundaries audit. Look at your calendar. What can you cancel or delegate? Where can you say no this week? Remember, every no to the wrong thing is a yes to the right one. Your peace is worth protecting. 5. Vision clarifier. Ask yourself, what does a simple, free life look like for me? Write the answer. Make it real. It doesn't have to be impressive. It just has to be honest. Let your future self read it and feel seen. Roadmap for growth, defining your path forward. Now that you've seen what's getting in your way, let's sketch a more intentional direction. Ask yourself, what does a simple, free life mean for me, not someone on Instagram? What kind of life feels right in my body, not just my brain? This isn't about minimalism as a trend or freedom as rebellion. This is about designing a sustainable, personalized life that you can actually maintain. One that feels like you. You're not here to live on autopilot. You're here to live fully, clearly, authentically. A life of simplicity and freedom isn't handed to you. You have to design it, not all at once. Not perfectly, but deliberately. You already know what's weighing you down. You already know what would bring more peace. The question is, are you ready to choose? I've put together a free resource to take this even deeper. It's a set of ebook summaries that give you a quick, powerful overview of the core ideas from my books, plus practical prompts you can start using right away. You can grab your free copy through the link in the description. It's my gift to help you start rewriting your story today. And this is where the journey naturally takes us deeper. Because once you begin clearing the clutter, you quickly realize something. Freedom isn't only about what you remove, it's also about what you choose to invest in. Which brings us to another core truth. Wealth isn't measured by how much you spend, but by how much you truly experience. Redefining wealth. We've been conditioned to equate wealth with net worth, with how much you have in the bank, the brand of your clothes, or the square footage of your home. But that definition is empty because it ignores the basic truth that more doesn't mean better. A person working 80 hours a week to afford a luxury lifestyle isn't rich. They're exhausted. A couple in debt from chasing an image of success isn't wealthy. They're stuck. Meanwhile, someone making less but living with freedom, rest, and meaningful moments is often dismissed as lucky or simple. But they might be the ones who have figured it out. Real wealth means having time for your kids. It means waking up without dread. It means choosing what you say yes and no to without fear of going broke or missing out. That kind of wealth doesn't require spending more. It often starts with spending less. Defining the challenge. Let's be clear, the system isn't built for you to live simply. It's built to keep you consuming. You're bombarded with messages that say, buy this and you'll be happy, even though your gut knows better. Here are the main challenges we face. Consumer culture addiction. You've been taught to link self-worth to spending power. That lie runs deep. Fear of missing out, FOMO. Social media fuels the idea that experiences must be expensive to be meaningful. Comparison trap. You measure your life against people with completely different circumstances, values, or priorities. Emotional spending. Sometimes you buy just to escape boredom, stress, or loneliness, but it's a short-term fix. These barriers aren't just external. They're internal patterns you've reinforced for years. It's not about shame, it's about seeing clearly. The high cost of chasing status. Let's be honest, most people don't overspend for survival. They overspend for appearance. Social pressure is one of the biggest drivers of bad financial decisions. You buy things to prove you've made it. You stretch your budget to fit into a version of life you think you're supposed to be living. The designer bag, the upgraded phone, the overpriced apartment, none of it is bad in itself. But when it comes at the cost of peace, sleep, time, or debt, that's not wealth, that's performance. The irony. No one is paying that much attention to what you wear or drive. They're too busy worrying about themselves. So you sacrifice joy for approval that no one is even giving. So maybe the bravest thing you can do is stop performing. To live a life that feels good on the inside, even if it doesn't look impressive on the outside. That's not failure. That's freedom. Spending less means owning your time. Time is the most limited resource you have. Spend it wisely or it gets stolen. Work, traffic, errands, screens, they add up. When your time is eaten by obligations you didn't really choose, life becomes survival. Cutting unnecessary spending doesn't shrink your life. It expands it, because every dollar you don't spend is a bit of time you get back. Time not working late to pay for things you didn't need. Time spent living. Ask anyone who's downsized, decluttered, or simplified, and you'll hear the same thing. They didn't feel deprived. They felt relieved. Roadmap for growth. You're not aiming to be cheap. You're aiming to be rich in what matters. Spending less and experiencing more isn't about restriction, but refocusing. You shift your time, money, and energy toward things that actually feed your soul. Here's your roadmap. Step 1, redefine wealth. Wealth isn't what you own, it's what you feel. It's time, freedom, joy, purpose, connection. Make your own definition. Step 2, audit your spending versus experience. Take a hard look at your expenses for last month. Label each purchase. N, necessary. Rent, food, bills. E, experiential. Concerts, road trips, time with people. F. Filler. Things you didn't need, bought on impulse, or for image and status. Step 3. Replace status with story. Instead of asking, "What will this make me look like?" ask, "What story will this help me live?" Experiences make you richer than things ever will. Think back to your best memories. Really think. Was it something you bought or something you felt? You probably remember a road trip with friends, a meal cooked with family, a moment of silence in nature that hit you harder than any shopping spree. That's not a coincidence. Experiences stay with you. Experiences don't just fill time, they expand it. They stretch your sense of self, deepen your relationships, and remind you that joy isn't something you buy. It's something you notice. They also age differently. Contentment isn't about having less, it's about wanting less. There's a kind of peace that comes when you stop chasing. When you look at your life, your stuff, your habits, and say, "This is enough." Contentment doesn't mean settling. It means knowing the difference between need and noise. Contentment isn't the absence of desire. It's the presence of clarity. It's the quiet confidence that what you have is enough and who you are is already whole. It's the shift from asking, "What else can I get?" to "What do I already have that I've been overlooking?" And in that shift, something beautiful happens. You stop chasing the next thing and start savoring the now. You begin to see your life not as a project to fix, but as a place to live. The long-term cost of chasing things. We don't just lose money when we fail to prioritize experiences over possessions. We lose time. We lose moments that could have become stories. We miss dinners with friends, weekend adventures, and lazy afternoons that recharge us. And for what? A new gadget? A better couch? There's a hidden cycle in consumerism. We buy to feel good, but the feeling fades. So we buy again. A dopamine loop that keeps us restless. And that more isn't found in a shopping cart. It's found in meaning, in presence, in the courage to live a life that's rich in moments, not things. Because the real cost of chasing things isn't just financial, it's spiritual. Let's have a look at some steps that will help achieve this in our lives. Step 1. Redefining what wealth means to you. The first step to change is asking better questions. What brings you lasting happiness? Is it the new gadget or the dinner shared with people you love? Are you spending money to impress others or to enrich your own life? Wealth isn't just about having money. It's about having options. It's about being able to say no to things that don't matter and yes to the things that do. It's emotional freedom. It's peace of mind. And that rarely comes from more stuff. True wealth is the ability to live in alignment with your values, not your paycheck. It's waking up with purpose, not pressure. It's knowing that your life reflects your priorities, not someone else's expectations. Step 2. Choose experiences over excess. Start small. Invest in the things that actually add to your life: learning, relationships, meaningful travel, and growth. Things that give you memories and stories, not just receipts. Cut back on purchases that don't move the needle. That designer item, it might look good on the shelf, but what's it really adding if it doesn't make your life richer? Make room in your budget and your life for what you'll actually remember. Because the things that shape you aren't things at all, they're moments. And the more you choose them, the more your life becomes a story worth telling. Step 3. Build habits around meaning. Let your daily routine reflect what you care about. Buy a ticket to something you've always wanted to try, a show, a class, or a trip. Spend your weekend outside, not online shopping. Talk to people. Really talk. Reconnect. Create rituals that bring joy: Sunday pancakes, evening walks, and movie nights with no phones. Drop the need to prove yourself with your stuff. You're already enough without the status symbols. So spend less. Not to shrink your life, but to expand it. Not to retreat from the world, but to meet it more fully. Because the true measure of wealth isn't what you can afford, it's what you no longer need to chase. Actionable exercises. Let's go over a couple of exercises that will help in applying new insights. Exercise 1. 7-day no-spend challenge. For the next 7 days, don't spend on anything outside of necessities. Track what urges come up. What do you reach for out of habit? Exercise 2. 1 in, 1 out. Every time you feel the urge to buy something, pause. For each item you bring in, one must go out. It trains you to value what you already have. Exercise 3. Design a $0 experience weekend. Plan a full weekend of activities that cost nothing. Think hiking, wild camping, deep convos, volunteering, stargazing, old hobbies, potluck dinners, shared playlists, dancing in the kitchen. Exercise 4. The experience list. List 10 experiences you've always wanted, not bucket list stunts, meaningful ones. Simple, intimate, honest. You won't always feel immediate gratification, but with practice, you'll feel lighter, calmer, richer in ways that last. If this video resonated with you, I want to invite you to go even deeper. You can get a free summary of my book Less is More: The Path to a Meaningful Life right now. The link is in the description, or just head to Level Up Now. Inside, you'll find the tools, prompts, and practical steps that will help you design a simpler, freer life built around what matters most. This video draws directly from the core teachings in my book Less is More: The Path to a Meaningful Life and its companion workbook. You'll find them linked in the description. They're designed to work side by side, giving you the insights, tools, and guided exercises to help you spend less, experience more, and create a life of true wealth. Remember this: your freedom is your own, your joy is your own, and your life is your own. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one, and don't forget to subscribe.